Ah.
Are you here with me?
Yes, I am. And we are on Facebook Live.
Okay. I can't see you though. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can.
All right. Hey, Ursula.
Hey, Key, what's
How
up?
you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. So we would like to welcome everyone here for our debut of Dining with Purpose. This is our first night, and tonight we're just going to converse a little bit. You get to know us if you don't already. We're going to eat. We're going to talk, and this is a platform for us to give a non-judgmental platform to give our perspective on various mediums of art. So tonight we are going to be reviewing, dissecting, and talking about a documentary film by filmmaker Lacey Schwartz Delgado titled Little White Lie. So this is going to be very interesting. This platform is also interactive. So our biggest thing is for you to come on, watch it, write down your questions, and be able to join us in the same token. But what's also important about tonight is we get to give you a little bit of insight on the food that we eat while we eat that food and have a little beverage to go with it. Mine is spiked, by the way, just a little bit.
I already took mine.
Just a little bit. So my name is Keisha Thompson.
And I am Ursula Hayes Williams. And we are going to talk about what are we eating tonight? Well, we already showed you what we're drinking tonight. So,
What you drinking?
Well, I had a shot of Patron to calm my nerves. And I'm drinking my favorite red wine by Liberty Creek.
Oh, nice.
And I am eating, I just finished a 7-day juice and water detox. So I am eating, and if you can see, I'm eating a raw salad. I am eating smoked broccoli on top of organic spinach with organic tomatoes, organic cucumbers, organic baby carrots, and organic avocados on top. So that's my dinner.
Nice.
So what are you eating?
Nice. I'm gonna start with my drink. So I have a Taste My Flavius. It is a black-owned juicing company. They do juice cleanses, and so this is part of it. This is called ginger beer. I also spiked it for a little bit just for my nerves for this event, but it's really really good. So I am drinking that, and I too joined Ursula in her fast. So I am also eating a salad. So I have my bed of greens. I have chickpeas, courtesy of Ursula, by the way. I have avocado, sweet tomatoes, drizzled with liquid aminos, olive oil, and vegan ranch. Also seasoned with, what is it called? Bagel, everything bagel.
Oh, yeah.
Everything bagel seasoning. So that is what I am eating on tonight. So, yes. Well, before we start, though, I don't know if everyone knows about you being a vegan.
Well, I've been a vegetarian.
Oh, vegetarian.
I've been a vegetarian now for 30 years. I started when I was 19 on a bet, and I've been vegan on and off. So depending on what day of the week you catch me, I mean, yeah, I don't go by plant-based. That's for you newbies. I am a vegetarian. So, yeah. and my daughter is also a vegetarian from the womb on.
All right.
What you, Key? What's your lifestyle?
I'm an official vegetarian. I had to think about it for a while. I have been on and off. I've been playing with it for quite some time. But I am officially a vegetarian for a few months now, and it's been absolutely rewarding. Knowing the benefits of it, just eliminating a lot of byproducts from the meat, including the dairy, which has been a little bit difficult, but it has definitely been rewarding, taking away a lot of the processed foods and all of that good stuff. So,
and since I'm 30 years in, my biggest challenge this year was to go organic. So I've been trying to do everything organic. When I say everything, I mean my fruits and vegetables. You know, I'm not,
right.
You know, I don't have to do organic rice. You know, I'm not doing all that, and organic bread. But my biggest thing was organic fruits and vegetables, and it has been going well.
All right. Yes. And so how this platform started, it came from an idea. What I noticed was a trend. Arcella and I would watch documentaries, or she's more of a book reader than I am. I don't read as linearly, but I collect books and pick them up, you know? So it started off like it's challenges to read, but we got more and more into documentaries as far as just commentating on them and talking about it. So it was like, hey, why don't we just start a community where it can be interactive. People can watch the videos, tune in, chime in, and we can also have guests to come on and just speak from a different perspective. And it's well needed in this climate that we have. So tonight we are going to be talking about, like I said previously, Little White Lie. So we're going to start with the trailer and we're going to get right into it. And shout out to Indigo,
our director,
Arcella's daughter, for helping us with the technical difficulties. So we're going to test it out and see if it works. If not, we be like, Indigo.
No, I got it.
All right.
I come from a long line of New York Jews. I grew up in a world with synagogue, Hebrew school, bar mitzvahs. So it never occurred to me that I was passing. I wasn't pretending to be something I wasn't. I actually grew up believing I was white.
Show us how you can stand on your side. Oh, that's terrific. How do you do that?
We lived almost picture perfect kind of life for a while. So when Lacey decided she was going to tell the story, I was a little nervous about it.
If you look too closely at it, it didn't make any sense. So we found ways to see what we wanted to believe.
I always looked at you like you looked black. To me, you're just like a Jewish kid who, I don't know.
White people will think anything. The crazy things. I'll know white people for a long time.
Today's the day. We did it.
It really is the power of denial. How the hell did anybody sort of not acknowledge this?
It just seems like the 600-pound gorilla in the room to kind of just refuse to see it.
When it came time to apply to college, I had to check a box.
The only box I had ever known was white, so I just didn't check anything. And based off a photograph, I was admitted to college as a black student. And I was afraid of not being a part of the world that I had grown up in anymore. If I could have done my life differently, there were a lot of things I would have done differently, but in the end, not really.
You know, the fact is, like, whatever happened with you and Daddy, and that inability to talk about things, that is what I carry on. Nobody talked about everything because it was all secrets.
Ooh wee.
Did it!
Ooh wee.
I did it! Yay!
All right. Good job, girl. Good job.
All right.
So yeah, that was just a trailer, a little bit of what we're going to be discussing tonight. So the overall theme of that, I don't know if you want to go into that real quick, just the overall theme, E.
So it's basically a documentary by Lacey Swartz, and what's her last name? What's her next last name?
Delgado.
And it's her documentary tracing what she's been through on a personal level, from being raised by two Jewish parents and meaning they're white, and not feeling comfortable in her skin and not knowing why. She grew up in Woodstock, New York, and so she doesn't understand what's going on. She knows there's something different about her. She knows her hair is different. She knows her skin is different, but that's all she really kind of knows. And her parents don't say anything as far as they don't even talk about what's her difference. So it's not until she gets into high school that she kind of almost figures it out, but not all the way. And it's when she get into college that she really figures out what is the problem. Not even the problem, but what's the difference.
Yeah. Before I go into the first question, my salad though.
Ooh.
I took that first bite. Like I just whipped it up.
Okay. All right. Let me get mine. Oh yeah, it's ready.
It's on point. It's on point. It's just, it is what it is.
Let's do this.
So take me back to the documentary. What interests you? What engaged you about the documentary? And that could be from just before you watched it, during and after. What was it that kind of captivated you?
Well, the name. That's what made me watch it.
Right.
And I didn't even watch the trailer.
You didn't?
I didn't. And so the movie is from 2014. So I didn't even watch the trailer. So I said, okay, let me check it out. What kept me watching it is, y'all don't know she black? The elephant boo-boo in the room in the middle of the floor, nobody wants to say anything.
Right.
That's what kept me watching.
Right.
And then once she turned 18 and realized, boom, her mother had an affair with a black man, that's what really kept me watching. So that's what intrigued me. Them not realizing that she's black, and then her not realizing it. And then the fact that I feel that they robbed her of her cultural identity. She's mixed. Okay, wonderful. You fed her Jewish culture or her Jewish tradition, but you didn't feed her any of her African American tradition. That's why she's lost. So what about you?
First, it was most definitely the title and just the visual of, the artwork that they had. So it's like, okay, it almost seemed as though it was a no-brainer. So I kind of went into it thinking I already knew the end of it, right? What really got me though was the cause and the effect of secrets, family secrets, right? So here you have, like you said, this biracial girl, woman that we as Black women, we like, hey, we know that you're Black, but she had no idea of her identity. And so when you have such a deep, dark secret, it just continues to pile on. And there's so many people that are affected because of this secret. And then you find out as an adult, you got to rebuild your whole life again.
Exactly.
Right.
From scratch.
Right.
Yeah. So where do you think in the movie, or do you think they could have had some experts in there, some presenters that really delved into the situation or the issue? Do you believe they needed that or no?
Yeah. I mean, we in the video, you see that when she went to university, like her eyes were like wide open, right? I feel comfortable being a part of this organization. So for those who didn't get a chance to watch, I'm not gonna say she found her identity. I don't know if that's the way to put it, but she applied to university, Georgetown University, without checking her race. And so the university went ahead and said she had to send a picture in order to get admitted. And they saw her and they say, oh, she's Black. They checked it. And then the Black Student Union reached out to her and was like, hey, welcome. And so she says in the documentary, like, that gave her permission to kind of, seek her identity as a Black woman. So as she goes into university, she takes it upon herself to go get therapy. The question is, do I think a professional would be useful in the documentary? Absolutely, right? Because for us, it's like, how do you not know? But it would be good to get that perspective of how did that affect her emotionally, psychologically, right? And what does that look like for her in the future?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And see, I think that one of the reasons why I kept watching is because I thought she was adopted.
Okay.
And so to find out that her mother had an affair, that just really kept me watching. But I look at it as like this: just say they had an expert or a couple on the documentary that say a white couple that adopted Black kids, you know, and they gave their point of view of how they, you know, try to assist their children in how they tried to indoctrinate the African American culture into their children. Or if they had a Vietnamese child, same thing. What tools or mechanisms that they use to try to indoctrinate their child into that culture? And I think that if we had saw that point of view and seeing the advantages and disadvantages, you know, I think it would have made it more clear. Also, when she did go to therapy, she recorded it during the documentary.
True.
But we didn't hear what the psychiatrist said or psychologist said.
Right.
She told us that she said that you need to address the secrets that's in your family. That's all she said. What about the emotion, like you said, the emotional damage that they've done to her? You know, the fact that she's not comfortable in a crowd of Black people, except when she went to, you know, Georgetown. Right. You know, she was comfortable. But with the common Black man, you know, later on when she goes to her sperm donor's funeral, she's not comfortable with, I call it a sperm donor. She's not comfortable because he knew. She's not comfortable with the common Black man. She's a common Black people. She's not comfortable being in a crowd of just the common working class Black folk.
Right.
You know? And so that's one of the disadvantages that she's facing. So I think if they had an expert there, they would have been able to open that up and dive a little bit more into that and, you know, actually address that when it comes to parents that are mixed, or parents that are adopting children that are not of their culture or their race. I think that's something that they should address.
Yeah, that's a good point. Before we move further, I want to give a shout out to those who are watching.
Who's watching?
We got a lot of folks. Stephanie, hey Stephanie.
Hey.
My cousin Lynn, hey Lynn. Edric Lee, what's up? Mr. James William, my boo Alicia.
Miss Danita, MOP's in the house. Monique.
Hey.
Is that Pastor Tiffany too?
Holland, what it do?
Hey.
Hey Contessa, what's going on? Looking good. Danita.
Did you see Jaron is on you too?
Hey, Elaine. I got some family. Pastor Tiff, Shamira. Hey, y'all. Jenna, Chevy. Hey, Mama. My mom on the line. Hey, Lakeisha. Giving all of y'all some love. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. Kick it with us. I don't know if you have anything to do. You should be quarantined, so you might not have much to do. But get a drink and join us. So E, perspective, point of view. Do you think, so this point of view came from the actual author. What if it came from another point of view? Outside of, well, the Lacey and the mom and the dad. What do you think? Could someone else's point of view been in there, or would it have made a difference in the documentary? What's missing?
I think there's three perspectives in the movie.
Right.
In the documentary. The first one is her mom's. Because that's where the white lie begins. So first is her mom, then the consequences are the other perspectives, which would be Lacey and then the father, her father, you know, her actual, I don't want to call him birth father. What do you call it? Biological, thank you. Her biological father. So those three perspectives we see in the movie. And then of course there's some, you know, other ones, but those three are heavy. I mean, really heavy in the movie.
Right.
And like, for example, with the mom's perspective, and we're going to, hopefully we'll talk about that later. You know, I have empathy for her because towards the very end, she just didn't, you know, she basically, you know, I hate to say it, she's like, you know, I'm a woman. You know, I messed up. This is where I am. This is what I did before I had you, before I was married. I was a woman, you know. But I have empathy for her because I told Keisha earlier, girl, I would have took this to my grave. I wouldn't say nothing. I would have been silent. You could look me in my face, I'd have denied it. But I
straight face.
Yeah, straight face. Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, is that straight face based off of the situation or because of your personality?
My personality.
Okay.
My personality. And so that's what I said. I commend her because Lacey was like, she wanted to know details. You know, she was like, when did it happen? How many times? Did it happen before you got married? Did it happen after you married? I mean, she was like inquisitive, and her mother was answering them questions. Girl, I think by that second one, I'd have been like, girl, look, I'm done. Too much.
Get out my face.
Look, I would have pulled the mama card. I'm grown. I'm grown. I ain't got to tell you nothing. I'm grown. I told you enough. I told you your daddy is. That's it. So,
you can leave it.
Because it's so revealing when you are caught in the lie. When you get there, you can't run from it. You caught in it. Come on. She just opened up wide and said, this is what it is. So I think her perspective is the first one, and then Lacey's, and then her father, which he does not get the due credit in this documentary that he deserves. Because he lived that lie. He actually created a lie to cover her lie.
Absolutely.
He said that his great-great-grandfather was a dark-skinned Sicilian, and that's why she's dark. My 17-year-old looked at the movie, looked at the documentary. She said, Mama, she Black. First 5 minutes.
Right.
Really? So, I mean, he really does not get the credit he deserves. And then to see I feel like we saw his hurt. We saw his devastation in it. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. What's your perspective? Who do you think has the heaviest perspective in it? Or the one that you could relate to a lot?
That I could relate to? As far as perspective on this particular question, none that I could really relate to, but the one that I do feel perspective is valuable is Lacey. Mm-hmm. You know, it's her story, is what she have. The one I felt the most compassion for was the father, mm-hmm. right? I just feel like I agree. Like there was this big lie that everybody knew and continued to go along with it. So just a little background for those that didn't watch the movie. When she was born, of course, she had this yellowish tint, right? So the trailer.
It's not yellowish.
Oh, it was a yellowish tint.
That's what the uncle said.
That's what the uncle said.
That's what the Jewish uncle said. It's not yellowish. Call it what it is.
He said a yellowish tint. But brown. What happened was, just a little background. She was born, and as she become of age, she started to question some things. Her neighborhood was white. Her school was white. Of course, her family was white. It was heritage was Jewish. Go ahead. What?
We didn't talk about the when she went to school and the little first grader, the little boy.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get there. Okay. And so all she knew was white. She questioned it the first time when the first grader was like, hey, let me see your gums. And so she pulled down her gums. And that was the first time she went to her father and was like, hey, I feel X, Y, and Z about this, or whatever that was, right? So that's when he pulled out the book. It was like, okay, well, the reason why your skin tone is as dark as it is because you're reminiscent of my great grandfather who was Sicilian. And so that was the story that they went with. That was the story that the family just kind of stuck on to. And that's why we're here now.
Okay. Two things. Yeah. Why this little boy, this first grader, noticed to tell this little black girl, let me see your gums?
Why what?
Why is it this first grader, this little white boy with blonde hair,
right,
knows to tell her, let me see your gums?
Oh, that's Todd. Right? So he knew, everyone knew something was different, and kids are extremely inquisitive anyway. So if there is something different, they're going to question it. We have a lot more reserve not to do that as we become older, but he was like, hey, let me see your gums, because he knows there's something different about her, whether or not he can point it out. And so even then, she knew something was different. She wrote in her diary that she wished that her skin was lighter.
And her hair was straight.
And she even said that I can't change anything about my skin color, but I can straighten my hair because everybody around me has straight hair. So, it goes back to that question about having that professional help. How does that, and I believe you said it when we talked earlier, like, that's ongoing help you're going to need. That's psychological. That could be very emotional for a young lady or anyone,
especially if you're bringing another child into your life. Because remember, your issues are going to flush out into this child. So you're feeding your child those issues also.
Yeah. And she did say at the beginning she didn't want to get married.
Yeah. So what else you got? Oh, that leads me to my favorite quote of the movie. White people believe whatever they want to believe.
Now, where did that come from?
The person I identify with the most in the movie, Matt.
Who is Matt?
Matt is her boyfriend from high school. So her parents separated, got a divorce. Okay. She blamed herself. She didn't understand why, because her father, well, she didn't really blame herself, but she didn't understand. Her father didn't maintain a form of communication with her. He was very distant. Her mother went into a full depression, because she's been holding on to this white lie. And once you tell one lie, you got to tell another. And so that just built up into her depression. So she's in depression. Her father's absent. He doing his own thing. And she's in high school, which is, to me, I feel like one of the most important times of a teenager's life where you need your parents. And she meets Matt. I can relate.
Tell us about Matt. What did Matt look like?
Matt is a cute little yellow boy. He is so cute. And he's mixed. So his father's black, his mother's white. This becomes her boyfriend. And he basically tells her like it is. I mean, he meets both of her parents. He's looking at her parents, and he's like, yeah, I don't care what you say. White people believe what they want to believe. This is what he says. That's the best part of the movie. And so he even goes back to, I saw pictures of you when you came back from Jamaica with those cornrows and, you're tan. You black. And he was like, I just didn't understand why your people wouldn't just come on out and say it. So he was the one I related to the most. The other one was Mary. Mary was Lacey's mom's friend. And Mary went into Manhattan with Lacey's mom. They're going out to a show. They're going to shop first, and she's like, "Oh, there's Rodney. Rodney is Lacey's biological father." And so she said she wondered why every time they came into town, they would run into Rodney.
There you go.
Right, and so she asked her. She was like, "Hey, did you have an affair with him?" Or did you have an affair with him? And of course she denied it because that would have been me. And, and Mary was like, she knew that was Lacey's father. She knew it. So those two are the ones to me that were just like real talk. This is what it is. You know, they were real with it and they kept it real doing it. Who did you like glean from?
You know, Matt, he was definitely the first that just kind of wrapped it up like, look, we can end this documentary right here. I knew from the jump. You know what I'm saying? You Black. And he was the one that pushed it, right?
Right.
He said, she said, he kept hounding her. You need to say something. You need to question something. And she didn't want to face it. You know, because it's like religion. You know what I mean? When you grow up thinking one thing about your faith, and then you or religion, and you find out the truth behind it, you got to
rearrange some stuff.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. You've been living this life for so long. This is all you know. And to change that, it's work. So, you know, he was definitely like the captain of that ship. I identified with her friend. Gosh, I think her name was Zariah. I think it was like, Zariah. It was one of her university friends. And she was just like, hey, like you could tell that her spirit was really, really kind. She didn't come at her like, girl, you Black, what you doing? Why you trying to act like you white? She didn't do that to her. In fact, I don't think it didn't sound like anybody from the university did. They saw her as a light-skinned Black girl.
Right.
But something that she said while she was on the couch was Lacey questioned, like, you know, when I went to university, I felt comfortable with the Black people there. She's like, yeah, that's because that's who you are. That's who you are. So you identify with who you are, right? In community.
Right.
That's why, you know, no matter what goes on in the world, we identify with our Blackness, with our community.
Right.
So yeah, that was it would be her that I identify. Now Mary was cool.
Mary was good.
Mary was cool.
Yeah, she was a cool white girl in it. And she kept it real out of all the white folks.
Man.
Kept it real. But also look at Lacey's uncle. Lacey's uncle, to me, when her father couldn't express himself, Lacey's uncle told Lacey what her father was going through.
Right.
You know, because Lacey's father just he really could not communicate. And I think he was still holding on to this hurt. And he was the one that told her he felt betrayed. You know, I mean, he can't express to you how he feels right now, but he was the one that really spoke for her father, you know. And like I said before, her father really does not get the due justice to express how he feels during this whole situation. She did come to him, but I just don't think he was ready, or better yet, I don't think he was ready to express himself on camera.
I mean, can you imagine?
Girl, no. That's what I told you. On camera, I would deny. Okay, maybe off camera, I'd be like, okay, this is what it is. I'm gonna give you 5 answers to your questions. 5 questions, that's it. I'm answered, that's it. But on camera, to circulate around the world, no. Pimpin'.
I mean, you think the amount of shame he's feeling?
Yeah.
Because he knew.
I mean, he created the lie to cover up the lie.
Right.
And then remember, let's go all the way back. For those who didn't watch it, when Lacey's talking to her mom a little bit more, her mom shares that Rodney's wife cut her. They got into an altercation and she cut her, and she, blocked it or whatever, but she had to tell her husband. And at that point, he told her.
Who is he?
Meaning Lacey's mom, Lacey's dad. Lacey's dad told Lacey's mom when he showed her the cut, when she was telling him, he said, whatever happened in the past is in the past. He didn't want to know,
right?
But he needed to know,
right?
Because I really don't think he realized the degree of the situation. Because we don't really know in the documentary, they don't tell us when the altercation happened. So we don't know if it happened, earlier when she was a child or a teenager or whatever. But I mean, at that point, he just like he shut it down.
He shut it down.
Yeah, but I think he needed to know, because I don't think that the hurt could have been, I think he could have forgiven her at that point if he knew the full details of what happened. Not the full, but knew exactly what happened.
You talking about when she got cut?
Yes. Okay. Remember, he shut her down. He didn't want to know because he said, what happened in the past happened in the past. But I think that if he had been open to hear the truth of what happened, then I believe some forgiveness could have taken place right then and there. And maybe they not be divorced right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I think that when they shut it down and he shut it down and he started watching this child grow and develop, this girl is Black.
Right.
And so he's going back to, she had an altercation with Rodney's wife and she had an affair with Rodney. So all of this stuff is playing back. That's what I'm saying. I think if he had handled it from the beginning and addressed it then, I don't think they would have been in the situation that they're in now.
Okay, hold that thought. Hold on.
You don't agree.
Hold on. Okay, Don Singletary. Don, Don Singletary.
MOB in the house. She snatched.
Get the edges.
Okay.
Secunda, you said no. I want to know what's Secunda. And Secunda, y'all, if y'all have not tuned in to Secunda anything, like Secunda INC. Okay.
Imagine.
Yes, she is a entity all of her own. So dope. Imagine a World is her main platform, but she is all over the city of Houston. I want to know what your no is, Secunda. You could type it in.
Yes.
Hey, MOP for life. You already know.
MOP for life, baby.
No. Jerry says child was Black right after the opening. I'm not gonna
Jerry, come on.
Mandy. Oh, y'all, Mandy. Mandy has a beautiful daughter named Emma. And also shout out to Richard Kelvin, who encouraged me to go vegetarian.
Even though she's known this vegetarian right here for how long?
This is true. I'm not even gonna lie. But Richard was like, hey, just do it. Just do it. This is the thing, E. Because the next question I was going to ask is, what are like the major issues, the essential issues that happen in here? And it's so many that are going on. So to go along with what you said, the problem started way before the birth of Lacey, right? So let's go all the way back. So just a little background, y'all. Lacey's mother, I forgot her name. Her name. But Lacey's mother,
Google it. I'm gonna Google it while you're talking.
Okay. She was seeing Rodney before she got married. Okay. So this was her lover. This was her boyfriend. She had an affair with him. And this is a relationship that lasted for years. So prior to her marriage.
So much so that she invited him to dinner several times to their home.
Right. So it started way before Lacey. They get married and this relationship continues. So to go back, Mary, who is Lacey's mother friend, who asked her about the affair, you see, hey, that's actually where it happened. So the whole family knew of Rodney. And when I say a family, I'm not just talking about her immediate family. Her extended family knew Rodney. He was a ticket scalper too. So they would link up with him for tickets. He would come over for dinner. So it was a lot of that going on. And so another perspective, what I saw too was the arrogance of the mom, to not only have this relationship for so many years, but to be so comfortable and know what's going on that you bring this man into your house to eat with your family, right? And in the back of my mind, it's like, well, the husband knows, so you just trying to make the best as you can of the situation. But that was a huge, major issue, right? So the relationship, her marriage was already built upon a lie, right, from the start.
But that was the start of it.
That was the
start. That was the trickle effect, that, as they call it, little white lie. And then from there, you know, from her just not actually being able to identify who she is, and then I mean the heartbreak and the hurt of her father.
Right.
You know, he has raised his child for umpteen years, and this is not his biological child.
He had enough. He had enough. You know, it comes to a point where I can do this for so long, and it's just like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. You know, I've had enough. Who's to say that after that altercation that she had with the wife, that could have been the last straw? We don't know when it was, right? But you could tell, because it's never explicitly said that how he found out.
Yeah.
So in the back, it's like he already knew this whole time. So.
But like I said earlier, he assisted in creating the lie.
What should he have done?
Remember when that baby came to him in first grade, said this little boy said, wanted to look at my gums. He pulls out this album to say, you are like my great great grandfather, this dark Sicilian. To me, he perpetuated the lie.
Hold on. Let's get a couple things. One, it's a white man who your white wife may have had an affair with this black man. So for him, it was a lot of, I need to cover this up, because that's a lot of shame within the community that this actually could have happened. So in what way? I mean, because there was no one black in their community.
No one.
So how can I?
Because we forgot to mention, they met in Manhattan. They were actually living in New York, in Manhattan.
That's true.
They moved to Woodstock after they got married.
Right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So again, it's a lot that comes with it. And hey, not only did he want to cover the truth, the family, you can tell the family didn't want to know the truth.
Right. Right.
They were willing to live in that lie and just not talk about it.
I mean, because in the documentary, she interviewed her, she didn't interview any of her aunts, and we didn't even talk about that, but she interviewed her uncle, her dad's brother, who, like I said previously, he was able to express to her what her father expressed to him. And she interviewed, was it 2 or 3 cousins, male cousins? Was it two? Yeah, she interviewed 2 male cousins. And so, and then Mary, of course, was Peggy. That's her name, her mom's name. And the dad.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I don't know where I got Robin from. Yeah. So she was able to interview the uncle, the 2 cousins, and then Mary, which was to me the heartbeat of the whole situation, because she was I feel like she was the only honest one. And one white friend, was it 1 or 2 white friends, girlfriends? 2. Okay. So, but in reference to her family, they were the ones that she was able to interview. I think it's kind of skeptics. I guess I'm kind of like, you know, why couldn't she interview any of her female cousins? I mean, any of her female cousins or uncles, or aunts.
I don't know.
She did.
Oh, she didn't talk to the aunt.
Oh, no. Yeah. She didn't talk to any of her female relatives.
She didn't.
Why?
I don't know. You saw that Aunt Coddle.
Because I'm telling you, the women, we gonna take it to the grave, to the end.
Sakana said it was denial. Absolutely.
I tell you, that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Women, we gonna take it to the grave. We ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah. Oh, my daddy's watching.
Hey, Daddy Keith.
But yeah.
Yeah, she didn't talk to any of her female cousins or aunts. And by the way, for, like we said, for those who didn't watch, at the funeral of her biological father, her mom's sister was there. On the back row where Lacey was sitting, her whole family was there, except the dad, of course. You know, he wasn't going to that man's funeral. But all her cousins and everybody else was there. And her aunt was consoling her mother. Her mother was boo-hooing. I mean, ugly face cry.
That was her lover.
She was in. I said, girl, you act like you was last week. She was doing the most, Keisha. She acted like she was with him last week.
Probably.
And the sister was consoling her. Her sister was consoling her, not Lacey. She was consoling the mom. And then when they read the obituary and they mentioned Lacey's name, I didn't see nobody touch Lacey's shoulder. You know, we got you, girl.
You know, that part about the funeral, I had, you know, we talked about it. It's a lot of compassion. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lacey did what she could to reach out to the family.
Yes, she did.
You know, to reach out to her biological father. Yes. Even her being at the funeral was uncomfortable for her. You know, when, like you mentioned, when we a Black funeral, we don't care who you
laughing.
We talking, laughing, and you embrace. And the community embraced her.
Right.
The community, they embraced her. But of course, she didn't know anybody. So she was still uncomfortable. Yes. Now, the mama knew everybody. Let's be clear. The mother knew everyone, and they knew the mother.
Right.
But she wasn't able to connect with her step brothers and sisters or anything. I am thankful, though, that she showed up.
Yeah. And she did, in the movie, she did interview the sister that was closer to her age.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
And she mentioned after the interview that she just did not have a connection with her, which I guess I you know, internally I was kind of beating her up, but then I'm like, Ursula, okay, she just don't know.
She just don't know.
You know, I mean, this child was raised with a Black mama. You know, this child was raised with a white mama, not knowing that she was Black. So of course, I believe that, you know, there is a disconnect there. So I think that, yeah, like I said, that a disconnect is her not knowing who she is. Even though she knows, man, is my father now, it's not like it's going to automatically sink in, you know, it's going to take time.
Right.
You know, so yeah, but yeah, that funeral to me was like, I feel like it was an eye opener, and it was an eye opener for her. And I feel like it was an eye opener for us because we really got to see that the family knew. The family knew, and that that was for us. And then she does mention during the narrative that her family knew. She could tell by their behavior that they knew, because all of them came out to support her.
Look, the cousin said, you know, it was a touchy subject.
Exactly.
It was uncomfortable, so no one ever just talked about it.
Right.
Even in her bar mitzvah, you know, the only thing we heard was when it was a rabbi. Was it the rabbi?
Yes.
Said, the rabbi. Oh, it's nice to have an Egyptian Jew.
No, Ethiopian
Jew. Mm-hmm. And she was like, and the mom didn't say anything.
Right.
And she corrected her. And so that even more fueled her curiosity on her identity.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you think with her experiencing the funeral,
mm-hmm.
and you know, not getting this opportunity to actually really, she did connect with her father, her biological father, but we didn't see him on any, we saw him via the video of old videos, but we didn't see her connect with him. What do you think he lost in that?
Oh, don't do that to me.
I'm just saying, what do you think she lost? I mean, because that's deep.
It is deep. He lost an opportunity.
Her or him?
He did. You know, that was when we look past ourselves, right? Because what you're seeing is that's coming from somebody who had an affair.
Right.
He was married too. And they kept this on for so many years. So he lost out on an opportunity. Hey, this happened. This is what it is, to actually teach and show her about her the black side of who she is. It's a missed opportunity. He had we're not gonna get into too much on how he was a Rolling Stone.
No, that's why I asked the question, because I wanted to go there. Come on.
Oh, hold on. Let me get I'm not gonna go there. Because one, I'm gonna keep it on Lacey, but he missed an opportunity to teach, to pour into her, right? And not just him. The mom missed out on an opportunity too, right? To really, I mean, you said it at the end. She opened up and said, "Okay, this is what happened. This is my truth. This is what I did." One, I'm not sure if she was if she reconciled that. I don't recall her apologizing. I don't recall, you know what I mean? I don't recall her taking accountability for it. That's a missed opportunity. Because what happens is we don't realize how our mistakes, the things we do, feed off into our children, feed off into the family, feed off into the community, and what it affects. That went along with him as well, because all we see is what we want in that moment. So he definitely missed an opportunity to bridge some gaps. Okay. Because, and let me add on this part too, because this is, the family was, I mean, it was not one Black person in that family outside of Lacey. Yeah. So that was definitely an opportunity to, okay, this is what it is. I mean, he broke bread at the table. Right. Right. And he hooked up with them in Manhattan. Right. So to further along that, it said a lot about his character, how he rolled. You know what I mean? It said a lot. Yeah. Don is cutting up. So yeah. Go ahead. I feel that I know you didn't want to talk about his character and what he missed out on, because I feel that they, Peggy the mom and Rodney the biological father, in the documentary, she mentioned when they were in Brook, she took her to Peggy took Lacey to Brooklyn to see where she worked. So Peggy, did you mention that Peggy worked at a no, go ahead. Yeah, give that background. Okay, so Peggy, Lacey's mom, when she was in after she graduated from high school, she was a director of the parks or whatever at this particular basketball court, and in Brooklyn, I mean the hood and Black folks, and she's Jewish, and so she worked there, and there was no other people like her. And there was only, like she said, if there was ever a problem, she can snap her fingers, and Rodney, who was over there in his apartment, he would come down and help her with the situation. That's how they met. She said problem? Yeah, if there was ever a problem or a situation I couldn't handle, I snap my fingers and Rodney will come down and help. What'd she do? Snap my fingers. I just know, like every time you said snap your finger, you snap your fingers. Snap my finger, and he was there. Said that. I just thought it came from her own personal needs, not because of the job. Okay, there probably was too. So I just believe that
so when they were in Brooklyn, so she finally they sat down and had a real grown woman conversation. And Peggy told her that when she would see Rodney and Rodney would see Lacey, he would tell Peggy, gosh, she looks like me. She does this like me. She does that.
He knew. Yeah, he absolutely knew.
So he knew.
Yeah.
And so what Peggy would say to him is, Robert is her biological father. I mean, Robert is her father. Robert goes to her school. Robert goes to her classes. Robert does this. Robert does that. So
I'm gonna let you finish because I'm gonna let you finish because I just realized something. Yeah.
For him, I don't believe that. I mean, they knew what the deal was. Period.
Let me insert this. Though.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted Robert for the security.
Boom. That's right. I ain't mad at her. Because a woman does need to feel secure. That's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother subject. Because also in the documentary, what did she say? What did I say? Oh, this is what she said. Let me tell you something. Don't take it serious.
She cutting up.
Go ahead.
Okay, what Peggy said was, this is what she said. We agree. A woman needs security. A woman needs to feel secure that everything is taken care of. But Peggy said, I had an extremely sexual relationship with Rodney.
She said it.
All grown women know what that means. Okay. But she was secure with Robert.
Yep.
Okay. So I believe that Rodney and Peggy, they are just, they living their best life without even realizing the consequences of their actions, what it's going to do to this innocent child and to her husband, and even Rodney's wife. Rodney was married too. Keisha don't talk about this, but I'm gonna say it. Rodney has 7 children by different wives. By different women. Okay, and I mentioned this earlier to Keisha that I think he was happy with the situation, because I feel like he was meeting that stereotype that they want to perpetuate for Black men, that they want to impregnate as many as they can, have as many seeds as they can, but don't want to take care of them. He was perpetuating that. Why would you go to this people? Why would you go to and have dinner with these people? Be up in their house, cheesing and grinning in their face. Why would you go out to concerts and basketball games and stuff with them when you know that you've been having an affair with this man's wife? Come on. And you got a child. Come on. So I think that they are not innocent in this at all. I think Lacey, and her father are innocent in this completely.
Right.
So, I know you didn't want to talk about, Rodney. But he's and of course in the documentary, he's not there to defend himself at all.
Right.
Guys, but just the legacy that he left alone, it's extraordinary.
It is.
And
and it further goes into it's never mind.
Come on, Keisha. No.
I lost my train of thought.
Come on.
Wait, I do want to say this real quick. Reed, and Peggy was taking full advantage.
Boom! Yes, she was. Yes, she
was.
Yeah. Yes, the conduct. I agree. She was.
This is the thing, and this is and to further along that idea, because she found gratification in this relationship with this man. She knew that he would always be there. It was it goes back to just her emotions with the snap of the finger. The emotions, she would have cried all over that church if her sister would have let her go. Absolutely, she took full advantage of it. I want to say this too. I did reach out to Lacey Schwartz Delgado, so she could also be on the the chat with us so she can also give her perspective. But we didn't get a reply back. So I do want to say that.
Okay.
It's very important. It's very important. You know, you want to give everybody their opportunity to speak their truth on what that is. So
what's wrong?
Invite.
She hasn't responded back yet.
Okay.
So what is something that you, in watching this movie, what is something that you have never seen before, or something, a new way of thinking or some new understanding that you've never experienced before in watching this documentary?
I've never experienced any of her situation before, starters. But you know, it goes back into secrets. You know, family secrets, and then having the gall to actually confront, you know, those that hurt you or those that were selfish in a situation. Because she was almost in tears just approaching her dad about it. You know, like she noticed the difference between in their relationship when the divorce happened and he left. Right. She also wanted him to understand that she identified as a Black woman. You know what I mean? So it's almost like she wanted his blessing to be labeled as a Black woman.
Well, girl just want their father's blessing. Women, it's girls, we're little girls, we want our father to like amen what we're doing.
Right. Let me say this though. And in the midst of that conversation that she had with him, they was out on the patio. After she said, you know, I want you to know that I identify as a Black woman, he was like, well, I know. I could tell by the music you listen to and all of that. So it was like a dissatisfaction that she no longer, you know, held on to her whiteness from what he said. Because she never did deny herself being biracial. Yeah, she acknowledged that. She all of that, right? But you know, you're talking about a man. You also saw the bitterness, the resentment, how hard his heart had gotten from the whole situation, that the girl that he loved so dearly, he could no longer fool with because he wasn't even ready.
Right, he wasn't. And I don't blame him. But as a parent, sometimes you gotta take one for the team. Yeah. There's been plenty of times in my parenting life where I may not agree with Indigo's choices. I may not agree with the situation at hand, but for the betterment of my child and her mental, spiritual well-being, I may have to take one for the team to keep her grounded. Yeah. You know, because I want her to be a functioning adult. I want her to be able to move and progress out of that situation. And I think that he didn't channel that energy. He didn't take advantage of that. He didn't, you know, remember, I'm a parent. She didn't ask to come here. So, you know, I mean, I have to, you know, get above this and help her to be where she needs to be as a functioning member of society. And then also at the end of the movie, she's getting married. So she's going into a whole nother stage of life. And then you mentioned now she has 2 children. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you know,
I don't know if it's more. I just saw the last post she has 2.
But so that's what I'm saying. I think, you know, he didn't realize that parenting does not stop. So I feel like he missed that pivotal point. And I do understand. I don't understand. I empathize with his where he is and what he's gone through. Right. But as a parent, it does not stop. Right. Because you must remember, they did not ask to be here. They are a steward over, you are a steward over them, and you must continue your parenting duties. Yeah. Even when they become grown kids, you still must function on with them. And she needed that. She wanted that validation from him. If you notice that every time she interviewed him, when they were on the back patio, every time she started talking, she got choked up. And then there's a couple of scenes where they cut it and it started over.
Yeah. Yeah. When she did her over the voiceover, she was saying like she just couldn't get it out.
She broke down.
Yeah.
It's obvious that she broke down every time every time this happened. Cut, let's start this thing over. Because she was choked up. And she missed that relationship with him. And the uncle, he tried as best as he could to console her and to tell her how her father how her father was coping and what her father was going through, but she needed to hear from him. I think one of the disheartening thing was when the uncle said, why can't you just let this be? What's the big deal?
Why we can't sweep it under the rug?
Right.
Why? Everything fine. Why we gotta, Okay, y'all. I don't know what happened to Ursula, but we'll wait till she chime in. So Secunda asks, who did she marry? So she married a man by the name of, I want to say it's Antonio Delgado. And he is, at the time, a New York State representative for, I want to say, the 5th District. He is an African-American man. So she continued on with, because remember, her first boyfriend was also, he was biracial. And so she ended up marrying an African-American man. So we're going to see if we can get Ursula back on. So yes, that's who she married. And with him, she had 2 kids. Now, come on, walk it out. So, hold on, let's see if we can get her back on. Okay, here she go. So yes, that's who she married. If you have any questions, go ahead and chime in while I get Ursula back on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me come back to y'all.
I'm back.
I was like, look, don't make me do this by myself. Don't make me do it. I was holding it down for you though.
We're gonna fire the director. The director didn't plug up. She's throwing something at me. I'm having a hot flash. Okay. She's throwing Q-tips at me. Okay. She made me forget what I was saying. She really threw Q-tips at me. Look.
I'm sure she did.
Look.
Before you got on, I was answering Secunda's question.
Okay.
About who did she marry?
First of all, his last name is, what is it?
Delgado.
But he is Puerto Rican or Cuban or something.
No, he's black.
Like I said.
I know. Wait a minute. It might be somewhere down the line, but
it's somewhere down the line. But he's coming.
Black is black.
He black, all right, with a little bit extra something.
Okay, so any other perspectives on the docu? And first of all, I want to thank everybody for sticking with us and chiming in and commenting and being patient with us as we
debut our first show.
Debut the first show, and commenting and eating. I'm gonna give a couple of shout outs for those that are still on with us. We have Mother Margot.
Oh my God.
That's all Miss Charlene.
Come on.
Don't be talking about me. I know it starts with Dale. She like, get it together. Yeah, my family on him. Thank y'all for chiming in and being with us.
Were there any more questions?
Yeah, if you have any questions.
This is your moment to release your questions. I'm trying to operate multiple devices here.
You get a star on the forehead.
Okay, so what is it that you just really didn't understand? You just left you just baffled, run amok, led astray, bamboozled, just,
when you watch something, because we watched it multiple times. So the first time you get one reaction, second time you get another reaction, third time it's like, okay. And the more you watch it, the more you dig into it, and you start questioning and be like, wait a minute, what's going on? What I did not understand is, I think it's just, the big elephant in the room. Like, come on, y'all. Just let the baby know what's going on. You know what I mean? And it's I don't know if we think we're doing more harm than good, or if it's self-preservation, whatever that is, that would be the biggest thing for me. Let her know, have the conversation, and it's hard. I'm saying that on the outside looking in, because it's conversations I need to have, and it's just like, so that would be the big thing for me, is the family.
So if that's the biggest thing, what if the tables were turned? What if the parents were Black and they had this little mixed child, and they don't tell her well, your daddy's Jewish? How do you think that would have played out?
Are you saying like it's the same Alicia, yeah, she said, I'm about to watch this documentary tonight. Afro-Latina. Thank you, Seconder. I could work with that.
What did she say?
Afro-Latina.
Okay. So, like I said, what if the parents turning the tables were Black? Peggy and Robert. I'm gonna say Pam and Robert. And what if Pam and Robert was Black? And boom, this little yellow baby come out.
I don't know. You tell me.
No, I'm asking you. What do you think? How would this have played out? What would be the difference?
I don't know. I mean,
and I'm asking you this because I don't know if you remember when Peggy, the mom, Lacey's mom, was talking to her in the kitchen. She said this would not have been an issue if Rodney was white.
Right. Like, I could better answer that question from that perspective.
Okay, we're answering.
But I mean, if the tables were turned and it was two African American parents.
No, just answer from the perspective if Rodney was white.
Oh, we got a ding dong. We got somebody at the door.
Girl, answer the door.
I just did.
Has she come in?
Yeah. Hold on.
Rivka! Can she hear us? Hi, Rivka! Yay! I want to. Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, unmute. My God.
Okay. I want to introduce our guest for tonight. Rivka Gewirtz Little is God. We've been friends over 30 years. Has it been 30 years?
I'm only 30. What do you mean?
Shut up, girl. Shut up. We've been friends for like 30 years plus years. And Rivka is Jewish. She lives in Harlem, and she's a writer. And
hi, Rivka.
And this is, oh, I'm sorry to introduce Rivka. This is Keisha. And Rivka is married to Bruce Little, which is an African-American man. And so we wanted to get her on. She watched the documentary to get her perspective. She's raising 2 mixed children who are beautiful. And tell my baby, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Her birthday was today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Tell us your daughter's name.
Asada.
And give me the oldest.
Nava.
Yeah. So you love those names.
You already know.
Okay. So we wanted to get Rivka's perspective.
Or get stopped on the New Jersey Turnpike, but okay.
We want to get her perspective on raising mixed children and how she has tried to educate or make sure her children are indoctrinated with both cultures. So hit it, Rivka. You got the mic.
So
can I ask this too?
yeah, of course.
Rivka, that was a great question Ursula just asked. But I do want to know your perspective on this documentary.
Oh, she gonna go in.
She gonna go in? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Rivka. Go ahead, Rivka.
By the way, Rivka, the text message you sent made Keisha pause anyway. So go ahead, hit it, Rivka.
It sure did.
So I want to just start off with like the utmost respect for the filmmaker and telling her story. Like everybody should have a platform to tell their story. And I think, you know, hearing unique coming of age and coming into your own stories are important in all rights. That said, I just don't see that film as representative of necessarily the challenges of raising mixed children or adopted children of color in Jewish communities. And the reason is because, and again, I want to really respect this family and the filmmaker, but her mom lied like to the world. So that was a story about lies and deceit and what, you know, the havoc that wreaks on anyone, right? Whether you are gay and not out, whether you were married before and didn't tell, whether you're HIV positive and your kids don't know. Like I know all parents in these scenarios. And when you don't tell your kids the truth, there's havoc, right? So I think that's kind of one stream. And then there's the other stream of the complications of raising children of color in a Jewish community or in a white community. I can't speak for like a non-Jewish white community. I don't live that life, but I think the more common experience as a parent of biracial children, and from what I hear from my nearly adult children, is that people do know you're biracial. It's not hidden. There's a reason to hide it. It's being like, oh, I didn't marry that man. Like that's not a reality. But more painful are the ignorant, dumb-ass questions that they're asked on a regular basis, even by people who know and love them. And truly love them, right? Because a lot of times it's not hostile. It's not meant to destroy you, but it does destroy you. Microaggressions destroy you, right? Like, so I think that's more of a reality, and it's a story that we don't really get to hear that often. And the other thing is, to your initial question, Ursula, and did come up for me in the movie, is like, we don't raise our children to be bicultural. Our children are fully Jewish and they are fully African American. There's no half of anything, right? Like they're not half when they walk into a temple. They're not half when they read Langston Hughes. They're not half when they are stopped by officers. They're not they're not half. They're actually fully African American and they are fully Jewish. And so, and I feel bad for the filmmaker that she didn't get to have that experience growing up.
Yeah. Yay! Key, you have a question?
I don't think I do. Look, Rivka, this was the thing though, because after Ursula told, she read your text message, you're speaking from a perspective that we can't touch, right? It's us coming from, I am a Black woman, and the way I see it was this girl was Black. So it's just like, how could they not acknowledge that? You know what I mean? And I didn't, my question was it heritage? Was it shame? Was it guilt? What was it that they refused to attach themselves to? You know?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yes, there's a book. Hold on, if I search online, oh wait, there's my iPad. There's a book written by this man that my friend is married to. Let me find the name because he needs a plug. And he really did grow up like this. In this book, he was raised, his mom was biracial and she was passing. His father was white. They lived in the South in the 1950s and early 60s.
Ooh.
And then when everything broke out and went crazy, he didn't find out who he really was till they moved to New York City. And he was like, why don't these Black people stop protesting? Like before he realized who he was, and he didn't understand why the white people wouldn't let him in the pool. And
wow.
I need to find the name of this book, but it's really good and also super painful. It's not a summer read. It's not a beach read. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I think his first name is Malcolm. Anyway, I feel like people are racist to their core. They somehow end up, with a biracial child, and then when they want to live,
I'm sorry, she just had to say hey. Okay, go.
Okay, y'all are looking awfully good for quarantine. That's all I can say. Hold on. I need to see. It's actually in the front of my house. But I think people are just racist and hateful. And then sometimes they end up with a child, and it is end up like for whatever reason, and they'd rather just pass it off. It's been happening since the beginning of time. It's also I'm like Truly Sino, the graphic novelist who wrote that graphic novel about the biracial guy who passed and went into the KKK. Did you hear Drop? Mm-hmm. The same guy who wrote Drop. Hold on, anyway. I just think it's like a repeated story throughout our history, and it's because we have so much hate and shame and ignorance. I don't know what else. And again, I feel terrible because I'm sure the girl's family is nice and she seemed lovely. I'm down. Like I'm careful not to be, hateful.
But the reason why I really wanted to talk to you is because, first of all, we've been knowing each other forever. I knew her before she dated Bruce, and so I just find it when watching this movie and living the life with you, because they lived here in Houston actually before they moved to New York, because Rivka's from New York and Bruce is from Houston. Okay. So I feel like I was at their wedding. So
you were.
Yeah.
You were in our wedding.
Okay, in New York. So to see this movie and to experience life with Rivka, I just didn't understand. And Rivka is a for real Jewish sister. Okay. I just did not understand how they could not indoctrinate their child into their culture, both cultures. Right. But to know that she was living that lie, like Rivka said, that was the piece that held her back from it.
Mm. What did you guys think about it? Like, what was your reaction to it? And I apologize if you already discussed this and I missed it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Rivka couldn't find her phone.
I had my watch with me and I was like, oh my God, I can't get
where's the phone? Well, I mean, I thought it was good to see her perspective. And actually, when watching the movie, I actually thought she was adopted. Until we got to the point where the mother confessed. Yeah, I was like, girl, bye. I can't. Yeah. So that just changed the whole perspective of the movie. So I'm like, because you told this, as they call it, little white lie. And it really wasn't even a lie. Because nobody really actually, only one person in the movie came out and asked her blatantly, did you have an affair? And it was Mary, her best friend. But because she did this, look at the trickle effect that it had on her life. She went through full depression. She lost her husband. Her daughter has grown up not knowing who she is. you know, and then not even have her daughter not having the opportunity to bond and have a relationship with her birth father. I mean, so I thought it was an eye opener. It was a different perspective. Yeah, it was. It's just the consequences of one lie.
My review came in levels. So the first level, when I first watched it, I was so upset with the mother. It was ridiculous. It's like, come on, because in it, that was my focal point. I saw her arrogance in it. I saw how any story they just accepted whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like it was, they didn't want to associate with what the truth was.
Right.
And then, you know, and it really hurt for this young girl to not know who she was. And she was in search of her identity for years to come, you know. And so, you know, by the second time I watched it, then the third time I watched it, you know, my compassion hit on the father, then it hit on back to Lacey, and then it just boiled down to this big dark family secret that is selfish in concept, right? Because this is to hinder her for years to come. And you have a broken marriage that came from it, a broken family. You have it was just so much. So I was kind of all over the place with it. It really depended on how I felt for that day. But I was initially really upset with the mother.
Okay, I finally got it. It's called They Come in All Colors by Malcolm Hansen.
They Come in All Colors.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's this exact story of lies and deceit to the point where a child nearly self-destructs, as do the parents. Because when you're lying about the core of who you are, and it's based on centuries of slavery and then hatred, and you're executing and operating those rules in how in these lies, you destroy people. You destroy people. And that's the thing. I think it's funny because when you asked me if I had watched it, I was like, I don't think I know that one. And then when I mentioned it to Bruce, he's like, oh my God, we watched it 3 times. And that's how many times you have to watch it to take it in, because there are layers. There's the layer of just like, let's say you were to just take race out of it. You're like, who lies to their child like that? Like, who disregards the need for honesty on a kid? Okay, then you come back and you're like, okay, how deep is the racism that you had to lie, which beget divorce, which beget like, and then you go back and you watch it the third time and you're like, what does this woman have now to rebuild upon? Like what? It's just so painful. It's like layers of pain.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at the summary of that book. That boy name is Huey.
Yes.
Huey. Your name is Huey. I've never met a white Huey.
Really?
Yes. His name is Huey.
I've never met a white Huey either.
Hello? Huey. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just no.
Yeah. The book is so good. It's just super disturbing. It makes the documentary look like a skipping walk in the park. Because it's like crazy. Because there's also like a whole layer of like gender stuff in there that you're like, oh my God.
Okay. I've added that to my list. Rivka, we truly. Oh, what? Go ahead.
One last question for you, Rivka. Your children, how old are they now?
I have one who's turned 15 yesterday, Asada, and then I have one Nava who's 21. She'll be 21 in like 4 weeks.
Oh wow!
Yes, and she's super radical. My old one.
Yes, very much so. Very much. If you follow Rivka on Facebook, you'll see how radical she is.
We're like, wear a mask. Turn down the patriarchy, but wear a mask.
Right.
And actually, when did y'all leave Houston? How old was Nava?
She was like 1. She came back for your wedding. She was
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that's how long we've been friends. Longer than that. Okay, so we're gonna let you go. We held you too long. Thank you so much
for having me.
Thank you, Rivka. Thank
Love
you.
your show. Bye.
See you, kid.
Oh
my God, she made it. Yay. Okay. So we are so sorry we keeping y'all on too long. Last question. And this is the question that we have decided is going to be our last question to end all the shows. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Did you have any more questions from anybody else that was watching?
Carla had really good insight. She said she was familiar with she experienced a situation similar. She said the primary issue was lack of communication and willingness to tell the truth. We cannot ignore truth and expect it to go away. Very good. She said the story was really great. My maternal grandmother had a similar experience. She knew she was Black, but was raised as if she were white.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do want to give a shout out to all those that came on. My family's so dope. Brittany, Carla, thank you so much. Charlene with that beautiful baby. Kiara, my cousin, my baby cousin's Kiara. Antoinette, Mandy stayed on there with us. Jay Sanders, hey you. Nicole Arthur, hey Nicole. Natia, who's in the building. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you.
Oh yeah, wait a minute, hold on. Mandy said, I guess this is a question. Yes, Little White Lies can be found on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. But yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I also have it on DVD too. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free.
Yes.
So I just want to thank all of y'all for coming on. Thank you. Thanks, Rivka, for giving us her perspective. Of it was much needed. So I'm glad she was able to find her phone.
Yes, I love the fact that Rivka, and that's, I mean, from day one, Rivka was like.
And Dawn, I saw Dawn on here.
Oh, okay.
Not Dawn, not Dawn Singletary, but Dawn.
Dawn Sloan?
Not Dawn Sloan.
Okay. Oh, Pastor Tiffany says, great job, ladies.
Thanks, Tiffany, for coming on.
One of the things I love that, and I'm a true witness to Rivka in raising her children, is that, it's not about them being half this, half that. Because like she said, when the police pull them over, you ain't half nothing.
You see it.
And so, but the fact that she and Bruce have intentionally made sure that their children know who they are.
Yeah.
There is no second guessing who you are. So they are who they are when they're in the temple. They who they are when they protesting. And it's so hilarious because that baby, she believe in protesting. She be out there protesting. That is hilarious.
I do want to add this too. It's just gonna piggyback on what Rivka said. This is in no way disrespect to Lacey Delgado and her film, because this is definitely her experience.
Right.
But, it does let you know how to pray.
Right.
For people who go through situations, whether it's something similar or we talk about family secrets or just getting the help that you need in order to motivate you to speak up. All of that is good. So thank y'all.
Yes. And then another quote that I love from the movie is, we make ways to believe what we want to believe.
Say that louder.
We make ways to believe what we want to believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what do you believe in?
I don't believe in that. I believe in truth.
That was my ending.
Okay.
What do you believe in?
I believe in truth.
Who do you believe in?
Okay.
So you was talking about our ending question.
Right. Oh, me? Okay. Yeah. So every time we get together and we're going to ask this last question. This is the last question. You ready? Here you go. Is this piece of art? And remember, I'm sorry, and I believe Keisha mentioned it already. We're not just going to go over documentaries. We're going to go over all forms of art. So that may be documentaries, that may be literature, that may be a piece of art, any forms of art, because we are truly art lovers. And so we're going to discuss all forms of art. Okay, so if you're looking at this piece of art, which is documentary, this is our last question. We're going to ask this every single time. Would this be a glass of wine? You're going to rate it on a glass of wine. Would this be a meal? Or would this be popcorn? Okay, so Keisha, what is this to you? Is this a glass of wine, a meal, or some popcorn? You can even make cheese popcorn if you want to. That cheese caramel popcorn where you like.
So as I recall, you described the popcorn as something entertaining, like.
Yes, just in it. You just
entertaining. Good.
Yes,
good.
The wine is just make you just chilling.
Just chilling. And then the meal being
you can't talk.
Can't talk.
Or you got food in your mouth.
Right.
You want it silent because you don't want nobody else talking.
Right.
But
so,
you entwined. You in it. You in it. You here with it.
You in it.
Okay, so, but the popcorn is like
at first glance, I started off with this like because I kind of thought I already knew what this was gonna be about. So I started off with like, oh, let me just get a glass of wine. Okay, But then I started making a meal. Okay. So this is one of those that you do want to pay attention to. It's an easy watch. So they don't over exaggerate with imagery or any cutting of the scenes or anything like that. But if you really want to go into it, and it's similar to what Rivka said, it's a lot of layers into it. So you can actually wine it. To me, I had a little meal, then about the third time, I just kind of wired it down. So, but overall, I'm gonna say it's probably like a meal. It's kind of a mealish. What you think?
Well, I initially said wine, but because I, like Rivka said, I went back and looked at it a couple of times.
Right.
And like she said, I totally agree. There's layers to this. And it's so amazing that when each time I went back and looked at it, there was something I didn't catch that last time. And I was like, ooh, I didn't catch that. So I still would say wine because I want to meditate in it. I want to chill in it. I just want to sit back and just, that's good. That's a good point. So I still would say a glass of wine.
Okay.
I still would say a glass of wine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we are going to be meeting again, right? But this is going to be a twofold process. So before we end in a month, and that date is August 17th?
Yes.
On August 17th, we're going to come back again. We're going to actually be reading a book. And so the book that I left in the other room, thank you, is The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. So it's about 100 and so pages, simple read. So we are going to be reading this book, and we're going to invite you all to join us on an actual Zoom call to give your perspectives of the book. Okay. So again, this is The Miseducation of the Negro. If you want to join in with us, excuse me, y'all. Go.
She has dogs trying to come in.
The Miseducation of the Negro. Please join us. You can get it on Amazon. And I'm pretty sure other outlets for sure, but I did get mine off of Amazon. I'm gonna give a brief description of it, and it's gonna be a good read. Hold on.
Look, I'm gonna keep this up. Oh, just while she's doing that, remember this is August 17th that we're going to discuss this, but we will be back on what date?
2 weeks from now.
We're going to be back on August 3rd, but we're going to discuss this book on August 17th.
Right. So we'll have a book that we'll read, and we'll give everyone about a month to read it and join our virtual book club. That's just virtual book club that we'll have.
Okay, you okay over there?
So yes, we hope that you all join us again. We really thank y'all for being here with us. I will ask E, can you read a brief?
Okay, sure.
Description of it, please?
Let me bring it up. The Miseducation of the Negro is a book originally published in 1933 by Dr. Carter G. Woodson. The thesis of Dr. Woodson's book is that Blacks of his day were being culturally indoctrinated rather than taught in American schools. This conditioning, he claims, causes Blacks to become dependent and to seek out inferior places in the greater society of which they are a part. He challenges his readers to become self-taught and to do for themselves regardless of what they are taught. History shows that history shows that it does not matter who is in power. Those who have not learned to do for themselves and have to depend solely on others never obtain any more rights or privileges in the end than they had in the beginning. And so we picked out 3 books that are complementary to this book, but I mean, we really would like you to read this book, but there's a couple of books that are similar to the Miseducation of the Negro. The first one is the Willie Lynch Letters and the Making of a Slave by Willie Lynch. Then there's The Soul of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois. And then Dumbing Down, Reflection on the Miseducation of the Negro by Jeff Menzies.
Yeah.
So check this book out. Like Keisha said, it's available on Amazon. It's a quick read. Looks like 117. Oh, mine's is actually less than that.
That's good for me.
Yeah, mine's is 72 pages. So it's a really quick read. Yeah. Maybe because my writing is small. That's why. But it's a really, really good read. Definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
So I want to thank you all for joining us. Hey, Lynn Tiffany, Colette. Hey. Don Singletary, thank y'all so much. Thank you, Seconda. Pastor Tiffany gonna be there. Yes, Alicia, we're gonna be doing this again.
So we will be back what day?
Hey, girl.
What day will we be back?
Okay, so we will be back on August. Let me tell y'all something. Let me be very honest with y'all. Us coming back on was dependent on y'all.
Yes, it is.
So if you enjoyed it, any suggestions, just, y'all have our numbers or DM or message, just let us know. But we'll be back on August 3rd to have this conversation. And as far as the virtual book club and all that good stuff, that will be on August 17th. So look out on IG. My handle is District Key, DISTRICTKEI on IG, and Ursula is I am Ursula on IG. On Facebook, I am Keisha Thompson, and you're the same on Facebook, right? I am Ursula. All platforms, okay?
Right, all platforms. I am Ursula.
So, thank you so much, Ursula.
One more thing. We will post what our topic is going to be really soon. We kind of in the mid. We don't really know which one we want to do yet. So but we're going to be. So just be on the lookout for our next discussion. But definitely we'll be on the 3rd. But we will post what our next topic is going to be.
Yeah. Thank y'all again for sticking with us. Seconda, thank you. Oh, Alicia, tell my babies I said hi. She got 2 beautiful. I taught a long time ago.
Oh, look at Whitney.
Whitney? Come on, Whitney.
Thank you. Order the book. Order the book. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you. Miseducation of the Negro, Carter G. Woodson. Real simple and short read. Carla says she has the book.
Oh, awesome.
Good.
Awesome. So yeah, y'all come and join us. And that platform would be all of us just talking and giving our perspectives of it. It will be guided questions, and it will be an opportunity for us to just express our own personal commentary. So
yes,
dope experience.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I want to shout out a couple of things. I was going to say something about Black businesses, but again, this is one. So check them out.
I am one.
Ursula. Go ahead, Ursula.
You can catch me at Universal Financial Service, which my website is ufsinc.org. Also, Barbers and Beauties Bookkeeping, BABbookkeepers.com. Also, of course, I teach yoga. I am Ursula. Namaste.
Namaste.com.
You can check out my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's about it.
And I also want to see, we had Danita on here, who is
Skincology.
Skincology for all your esthetician needs.
Yes.
Check her out. Who else?
Who else did we have? What other small businesses did we have on there?
Whitney is a small business. She's a
yes, she's a she does hair salon.
Yes,
she has
yes.
a salon.
And
yes.
She's a pianist too.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. She teaches piano.
Yes.
Piano teacher.
Dawn Singletary is, she
personal trainer.
Baby.
Talk about snatch. Check her out. As a matter of fact, she just posted today her competition pictures. Yes, and she looks snatched. Like she snatched.
Also, Natia, she is a dope comedian based out of New York. She's here in Houston.
Oh, Whitney says Diva One exclusive school of music. That's her piano school. Okay. If you want to learn how, yes, Diva One exclusive school of music.
Okay, awesome. Let me see who else we have on here. Seconda, come on, Seconda. Seconda, it's kind of real quick.
We've already pumped you. This is our second time pumping up with Seconda.
I know. Enneagrams. Okay. I'm gonna pump her out. Put on a blast. Enneagrams.
Yeah, we gotta do something with Enneagram. We gotta do something with Enneagram. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're into Enneagrams, if you don't know about it, go ahead and research it. She's definitely hitting the Black community. Basically put it into a format to where we're able to relate to it as far as the wording, the communication, and so forth. So yeah, definitely look her up. Oh, let me get my mama. My mama got too. Aries Health Services.
Okay.
So shout her out. And my daddy too.
Okay.
I know it's everybody.
Okay. Also, we have Carla with West Houston Mediation and Life Coaching.
Yes. I didn't even know that. Come on, Carla.
And your director's name and his business is the lighting.
Jerry Williams at apmedia.com.
All right, you better say something.
Photographer, graphic designer, creative director and owner of apmedia.com.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and Indigo.
Yes, and Indigo, my daughter, who helped us with our issues. Indigo Williams, XOXO. You can check her out on Instagram, and she just launched a new vegan cookies and parfaits at Sunshine's, which is another plug. Sunshine Vegetarian Deli. She just launched her cookies and get Tyson out of the camera.
Girl, this is pristine white. Look at that.
Okay. Vegan cookies and vegan parfaits at Sunshine's. So check out those treats there.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Thank y'all so much. I think that's it. Thank y'all so much for joining us, for the encouragement, for the love, for Miss Margot.
Miss Margot, designed by the creator. And Bobo Coaching. Fashion consulting coaching. Yes.
Check her Facebook, her Instagram out.
Yes. Yes.
It definitely stands for women over 60, but it also teaches and mentor us as well. So it's beautiful. So both of those platforms.
She helps with closet detoxing.
Oh, I felt that.
Yes. Right there. Cut your pearls.
You see it. All right. Love y'all.
We love you guys.
Hey, Keisha Shields. See y'all next time until we meet again.
Namaste. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you guys later.